Alright, now I had another weird encounter at the Chinatown buffet. So, I had an appointment with Honda, right? Because I was trying to see if I could do something about the vehicle because of the sticker price, right? And they really jacked up the price to $700 a month, right? Actually, $777, right? And 72 cents, right? So I went to Honda today a little bit before lunch, right? And I got there a little bit around, let's say, 12:20, right? So I'm sitting there waiting for the dude, right, and all that, right? And to see if we could even do a deal. And that took maybe, again, 20 to 40 minutes. So I hadn't had breakfast or anything, right? So about that time I started getting hungry and went to the Chinatown buffet after, right? So anyway, I get there, right? The waitress sits me, and there's this pretty girl and a guy sitting across from each other in the restaurant, right? Now the girl goes to the bathroom, right? After I started eating my meal, right? But before, right, they leave, right? So anyway, right? I usually, after I told you eat my meal, go to the bathroom, right? Now, here's where, like I told you, fantasies can merge. If I knocked on the door jokingly as I went to the bathroom, right, and the girl said, "Is that you, honey?" Right. And I said, "Yeah, who is it?" "This is your girlfriend," right? "Oh, you're my girlfriend, huh?" Right. Now, once that conversation started, right, if me and the girl had sex in the bathroom, right, okay, again, hypothetically, right, is it rape or fantasy, right? One, if it is the guy, right, and he is her boyfriend, right, they're not married, right, told you that before, right? And two, right, she's seducing a man who just knocked on the door, right, as he was going to the bathroom himself, right? Right. Not even sure if it's her boyfriend or not. No. Right. Now, once that happens and I knock on the door and she responds, right, as I'm going by, right, if she is in fantasy mode, right, and me suddenly get into it myself, right, and say I ask her what does she want, right, and she says, "Well, you know what I want, right? Is it sex in the bathroom?" I would say, right. And she said, "Yeah. Are you sure?" "Yeah." Right. And we agreed, right? And I said, "Okay, if you're sure now, close your eyes and I'll come in," right? Now, once she does that and closes her eyes, right, whose fantasy has it become? Hers. I didn't plan on, right, anything happening but eating the food again, right? But someone, I don't know, was trying to enact the fantasies I've been talking about on YouTube with her boyfriend, right? Where, when he didn't go and I went, right, when I knocked on the door, right, and, you know, I'm looking for a girlfriend too, like I told you, right, again, right, whose fantasy am I following? Hers or mine? Hers. Or hers and mine, right? So yeah, I'm kind of having the same fantasy as her with her boyfriend. But if a dude looking like Jesus comes in, right, and you're trying to have sex with your boyfriend in the bathroom, is that a good idea? No. But you have sex with the dude that looks like Jesus instead, right? Who just told you to close your eyes? And I'll give you a big surprise. If you're sure you won't say me in the bathroom, right? See. And say I went in, had sex with her, and again, told her, well, now wait a few minutes and get dressed, and then, right? And then, and she did what I asked her to do, right? And I left, and I, whatever, went back and sat back down, right? And then she came back out, right? And again, right? Shortly after that, they left, right? And I finished eating my second plate, which I got again, right? But I don't recall, right, doing anything, right, with her fully, right? But I was wondering the same thing, right? Before, right. I went to the bathroom, right? So, now, can the girl call the police on me and it be my fault? No. She's acting in a fantasy ideal with her boyfriend herself, right? The thing is, he didn't fulfill her fantasy. I did accidentally, right? Now, accidentally, right, having sex with someone who wants sex with someone else, right? Though you don't know that either, right? Some girl sitting across from a guy don't mean nothing to you in a restaurant, right? Usually a couple will sit beside each other, right? Though whatever, right? I know. Now, if she called the police on me, what can they do about it? Nothing, right? Why? Right? She used generic terms, right? Instead of calling me by his name, which then if I answered, right, like I was him, right, that would be fraud, right? But if it's a fantasy, right, and I'm having a similar fantasy, right, it's not fraud if she says honey or asks if I'm her boyfriend, right? Right? Or calls me boyfriend and not by his name, right? Unless his name is Sheen too, right? I don't know none of that, right? Right. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. My name, coincidentally, might have been the same as his, right? And this Shane was willing to have sex with him in the bathroom, but not the other Shane, right? I told you that before, too, right? And then she got mad. She showed her butt, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. After she realized, right, she was really with me and not him, right? I know. But see. I was talking about another Shane too, right? But with a different last name, right? I don't remember his last name. Right. But see, another thing is, like I told you, the reason I started talking about sex as SVU, right? Not normally do men admit to sexual things, right? With a man, right? Even that is considered gay by Satan, even if you didn't have a choice, right? To even admit to sex with a man, right? But if Jesus was right, for instance, right? In both holes, right? If he was a hermaphrodite, like I'm saying, right? The reason that happened is to forgive it. All that was done to him before and after he died on the cross, right? Father, forgive them, they know not what they do, is the whole point to that, right? Now, I didn't know, right, when I went into the restaurant, right, that the girl was planning, right, with her boyfriend, right, to have sex with him in the bathroom, right? But whatever similarities we had, right? Once she went into her fantasy, right? Who took advantage of who? She took advantage of you. She took advantage of me. Why? Right? The next guy who went into the bathroom area was me and not her boyfriend, right? She didn't bother to verify if I was her boyfriend or not, right? She just went along with her fantasy, right? Now, a fantasy can include sex with a stranger, right? And that's what I would think she was doing, right? If he didn't go to the bathroom like she wanted him to, right? And I don't know how long she was planning this with him, right? But it's her plan if she's enacting it on me, right? Right. Okay, that's a hypothetical, right? Right. Two, because I, again, ain't sure this happened or not, right? But if someone denies it, right, who would say it didn't happen? The girl herself. The girl herself. Why? Because she meant her boyfriend. Because she meant it with her boyfriend. Just like with the 15-year-old girl telling me she's 37. She committed fraud, right? Not me, right? By acting like she wasn't old enough to do the job, right? And had to tell me a false age, right? She wasn't, right? Had she not done that, I again wouldn't have been with her. Same with the Comcast girl, right? I again did something probably more fantasy about. I know. You know, like they do in the porno, right? Where the cable girl, instead of a cable guy, shows up and has sex with her customer, right? Now, the reason I know is talking about it, I would remember just talking with her about it. It wouldn't make it a big deal, right? But if we actually did it, right, and she was worried I would tell on her, though I would tell her I wouldn't, right? Unless she blacked me out, right? Because then I'll know, right? Like with the other girls, something happened, right? And again, right? Right. I'm not saying again, right, this really happened, right? To me, it seems like another fantasy, right? The one I'm really worried about the most is the Comcast girl, or, again, the girl at Orchid, right, who told me she was 37, but then someone's arguing she's 15 on YouTube, right? And I didn't have a reason to suspect her, right, as being 15, right? See, I don't have to ask for her certifications, do I? No. Her employer is supposed to have all that already, right? Right. That's right, right. Now, if you're a martial artist, though, right, and you're a black belt or not, right, what determines that is your techniques, right, in any martial arts, right? How you defend yourself, right? And, if you pass the course, right, even without certification, and you can do the techniques they say you need to do to be a black belt, are you a black belt even without a black belt? Technically, yeah, you're right. But at the same time, right, you know, the certificates, like I ordered an Aki Jiu-Jitsu video, from yellow to second degree black belt. Why? To actually get ranked belt by belt and learn the techniques, right? Now, legally, they do a disclaimer, right, to where I can't show you all the lessons, like I told you before, right? But if I see something I can critique a little, right, like I've been doing, right, that's why I'm doing that, to show you I'm looking into the martial art for real, right? And I got books on the subject too, and Aikido, right? And Aikido Jiu-Jitsu and Jiu-Jitsu, right? So if you know that, right, you're involving me and my life with you and yours, right? There again. Now, again, right, guess when I got home that right. Again, around 3:30, right? So I did do something else after, right? Because there was a train, right? And I ordered, right, a washing machine because mine's busted for some reason, right? And it won't spin right, right? It's banging against the dryer in the wall, right? So something's wrong with it, and somehow it got out of balance, right? I don't know how, right? Again, right? But it is, I do. So like I told you, though, I know, the third weird thing is somehow, when I got my remote and turned it on, right, instead of being in satellite mode, which is the mode I left it in, right, it somehow was in TV mode, right? I don't remember putting it in TV mode, right? And again, right, there's two remotes, right, that control the function, right? The difference is one is on the side, right, of the remote, and the other one's on the front, right? So you have to manually, though, push the TV button, right, or it won't change, right? Right. And I'll show you what I mean, right? See, I can explain the problem, right? So here's the thing, and on the side there are buttons, right? Now, right now it's on HMD, right? satellite. But if I do this, right, let's see. That's the last channel, right? I was on, which was the CW. Oh, this is Fox. Modern Family first. Okay, this is TV mode, right? So the difference is, though, right? TV mode, right? That's Bernie, you know. This is Comet, but it's not coming in too good, right? This is TBD or something, right? Charge, right? And then WSAV CW, right? So, again, if I went to sleep this morning before 7, and Sarah called around 8:11, right? And when I woke up and the TV was on this setting, right? You have to manually do that, right? And then it goes back to the hopper. But I don't remember doing all that. See? That's what I'm saying too, right? Right. See, that's the real problem, right? So why? I know. Megan Thee Stallion there. Recognize her anywhere now. But like I said, right? I will have a 0 chance to meet her and don't even try, right? But what, she wants a big white boy? I wouldn't think so. Who will lick her down there, right? She might, but, right. If she wants a guaranteed experience, right? But it wouldn't be more than a one-night thing either, right? You know what I mean, right? But then I would remember making love to that, right? Oh. Only way I wouldn't is if her entourage or her fans stopped her, right? Or me, right? Or she herself, I know, after we had sex, again, hypothetically, right? Knocked me out, right? Like the other. Now, I'm not saying, again, it happens, right? And see, she could be in the spotlight today, but 9 months later have a baby, but do you mind? No, right. If she ain't had a baby yet, I don't know. But that's the point, right? That sounds like a fantasy, right? And the only reason I would go is if I really had to go to the bathroom a little bit, right? But I could also probably hold it, right? But again, if she thought I was her boyfriend, right? Or me and her boyfriend had the same first name and I thought she meant me, right? Is that coincidental, right? And my fault or hers, right? Or, again, his, right? If it's her fantasy and she told him, right? And I went to the bathroom area myself and knocked on the lady's bathroom door, right? Jokingly. Is she supposed to assume I'm her boyfriend either? No. No. Why not? Anyone in the restaurant eating there can suddenly have to enter the bathroom and might even knock on the door gently, right? Now, if the person asks you to close your eyes, he'll give you a big surprise. And he's still outside the bathroom, right? And you let him in, right? And you're then inviting the person you assume was your honey and boyfriend, right? Right? Unless his name was Shane too, right? And you use my name and his, right? Which would be a bigger coincidence too. Right there. And we had sex with me instead of him, right? That's my fantasy too, ain't it? Right. Except this water from the glass here, right? Which I'm coughing out, right? By the way. Now, is it that we had a similar fantasy too, right? Coincidentally, right? If she had sex with me instead of him, right? And he didn't really want to do it, and she knew that, right? Too. So if we did, who took advantage of who? Right. Did I take advantage of her or she me? Both, right? Now, when it's both having a similar fantasy, right, and the girl acts on it, is it consensual sex? Yes. Yes. Why? Right. She didn't make sure. Right? She just assumed, right, I was her boyfriend, right? But boyfriend and girlfriend, like I told you, are not married, right? Difference being what, right? No ring on it. But if she had sex with me instead, we just had a one-day thing, right? She might get pregnant, I don't know, right? Again, right? But only if you black me out. I don't know, what do you mean there, right? Someone is acting unusual themselves, right? First, for that to become mixed up, right? That way. Now, no matter who knocks on the door, right? Once you use honey or boyfriend, right, to refer to the person, right? Unless his name is Shane and he's my name, and that we have the same name. This is what I would tell her afterwards too, and what happened, right? Hypothetically too, right? I ain't saying I know for sure or certain, right? But if it did, that's why I know. But again, right? First things first. Why are you, right, trying to have sex with your boyfriend in a restaurant? Is that the only place you can find to be alone? You don't have a bedroom? Well, you could get pregnant by me or him, hypothetically. And again, you chose to think I was him, right? Just because I knocked on the door, right? Which I told you that's in the Bible. Knock on the door and you shall receive, right? Right. Knock and it shall be opened unto you, right? And guess who the female is? The door. So is Jesus the door and the shepherd, right? That's what John is trying to communicate to you, that his and Paul's doctrine are different than Peter's, right? He's telling you more details than Peter and the others did because of Peter, right? Not understanding Christ dying for the females as well as the males, right? Now, if he's both, and Gabriel told Muhammad he's not the son of God, right? That could mean he's both too, right? See, though Mary was told, I know, he would be called the son of God, right? By Gabriel, right? Would he tell Muhammad, right, a different thing without a reason, right? Because if you read the whole Bible, he's not just the son of God, right? He's also the daughter and the son. As one. Which is what Satan tried to undo in Eden, right? When he tricked Adam and Eve into sex with him, or even Adam, right? And that's why, too, right? If I tempt you or you tempt me, right, with genetic terms, right, then you're assuming I'm your boyfriend, right? And I'm looking for a girlfriend, so why wouldn't I think you meant me, right? I have had one night stands before, or one day stands, right? And again, it's your fault, right? It's your mistake, right? That I was not your boyfriend and you didn't bother to verify I wasn't your boyfriend and let me have sex with you like I was your boyfriend. Right? That's consensual sex. Even if you fantasized with your real boyfriend. And a stand-in boyfriend is the one you actually had sex with, who would be your boyfriend too, right? That's not the other boyfriend's fault. That's your fantasy, right? To have sex in the bathroom too. But one boyfriend wasn't willing to do it, and the new friend, who would also want to be your boyfriend, so didn't do it. Is that what you're saying happened there, right? And like I pointed out, right, I don't even try to look at people sexually, but I know there's males from females, right? But I still try to behave, right? You know, no matter how attractive a woman is, right? Even my waitress, you know, I communicate with her verbally. And I let her know what the deal is, right? And she can also consent or not. But I don't assume we even talked about it if I don't remember, right? See, then that becomes another fantasy, right? If the girl just went to the bathroom and came right out and nothing happened, right? Is the alternative truth, right? To the reality, right? I actually remember happening in the store. But what you say, you're making something up because you're not sure what happened. That's what you're doing, right? You're not sure that happened or not, right? Now, even a video, though, of what I'm describing to you, right, cannot prove who the person is, right, with a 4-year-old girl or something, right, or a young-looking girl, right, who it even is from 30 years ago. 94 to 2024 is what? I don't know. How many years? Right. 04 is 10, 14 is 20, and 24 is 30, right? So in 2 more years, my son will be 30, right? Right. And he's 28 now, right? Now, someone's also messing with me about Maribel's child, right? Right. With no reason, right? And it's either Scott or Maribel, right? That's the problem, right? One, again, should know by now, or both, right? If the child is mine or not, right? If she's trying to divorce Scott, he won't let her, right? Grounds for annulment in the Catholic faith, if he's Catholic, right, is if your wife was pregnant by another man, right, before you met her, right? And if the birth weight is 4 pounds 9 ounces, she was pregnant before you met her. Whether she knew it or not, and you can get an annulment of the marriage and it won't stain you, right? Or anything, right? You didn't know, right? But if you murder her and the child, which is nothing I can do about because I'm in Georgia, right? That's a double homicide. And you go to jail for that shit. And I'm in Georgia the whole time, right? Never went to Virginia, right? Or saw her again after 96, right? And my parents and people around me are proof of that, right? I don't need a lot of proof, Scott, right? But if your wife is missing, right, since around 2000 to 2001, right, they looking for you, brother. And they gonna get you, right? For murder. Double homicide, right? Because whoever it is upset, right? That I remember Maribel too, right? And like I showed you with the TV, someone's messing with the remote and they gotta be in the house, right? To turn the remote, or they have their own remote, right? When I went to sleep, which is still messing with me, right? Yeah. Yeah. Right. And I'm mentally ill. Do you normally mess with your mentally ill neighbor and mess with his satellite TV? No. Well, this a-hole is, right? Wow. Dude. That's Doja Cat there. And some girl. Woo! I see. With more pixels this time than was Sawiti or was that a stand in, right? Right.